Italy, the land of incredible food, stunning architecture, and fast cars. A beacon of old world charm and the cradle of Roman civilization, is today facing a crisis: mass undocumented migration. A mere 2 decades ago, Italy was a nation seemingly woven from a single thread. Today, however, the nation faces a stark reality. 2023 alone saw a staggering 155,000 undocumented migrants landing on Italy's shores. In fact, many attribute Italy's countless economic and social problems to the rising tide of immigrants washing up on Italian shores in recent years. But this narrative only tells part of the story. Welcome to Living History. Imagine Italy before the 1980s, seemingly culturally and linguistically uniform. But that's a simplistic picture. In reality, Italy has always been a mosaic of dialects and traditions, each region painting its own distinct slice of Italian life. But let's fast forward to a period where things really changed. But for this, we need to take a quick trip to Germany. You see, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 wasn't just a dramatic symbol of freedom. It was a signal of imminent change across Europe. As Eastern Europe shook off its socialist past, countries like Romania, Albania, Ukraine, Moldova, and Poland stepped into a new era. But with this change also came economic upheaval, propelling thousands from the so-called Eastern Bloc to move westward, mostly by land, across the continent and in many cases towards Italy, a land perceived as full of opportunities and ripe with jobs in agriculture, construction, factories, and domestic work. This, though, wasn't just migration. It was a monumental influx of people that brought layers of new languages, traditions, and cultural nuances to Italy. Each new wave added complexity to the social fabric, challenging Italy's sense of identity and pushing the country to redefine what it means to be Italian in a rapidly transforming Europe. This, though, was only the beginning. Italy's position in the heart of the Mediterranean has long been its crown jewel for trade, opening doors to cultural exchanges and economic prosperity. However, this strategic location has also placed Italy at the crossroads of a different kind of movement: African and Middle Eastern migration. Following the Arab Spring, a whirlwind of political uprisings that erupted across the Middle East and North Africa in 2010 and 2011, waves of individuals from Morocco, Egypt, Syria, and Tunisia found themselves navigating towards Italy, seeking sanctuary from the turmoil at home. But the story doesn't end there. Italy's intricate tapestry of newcomers continued to evolve as it began drawing people from even further afield. The vibrant streets of Italy started witnessing new languages and colors with increased migration from the Asia-Pacific region, including South Asia, China, and the Philippines, each group weaving their own threads into the Italian social fabric. The allure of Italy even reached across the globe to Latin America, enticing many second- and third-generation Italians to seek Italian citizenship based on their ancestry. And the result? As of 2024, Italy's total population is estimated to be 59 million. It's also reported that approximately 5.3 million foreign citizens call Italy home, constituting roughly 9% of the total population. However, this figure only considers registered foreign residents and excludes naturalized foreign-born individuals and, of course, undocumented immigrants. In fact, when accounting for these unregistered populations, the actual percentage of immigrants in Italy is expected to be more than 1/10 of the country's entire population. Amid this rise in numbers of immigrants, many discussions have been held on both sides of the political spectrum. The left argues that immigration tackles a very particular problem concerning the country's mounting demographic challenges. As discussed in a previous video that I will link in the notes, Italy, like many other countries within Europe, faces a demographic crisis marked by an increasingly elderly populace and a declining birth rate. As per the European Commission's 2018 County Report on Italy, the ratio of elderly dependents to the working age population was recorded at 34.3%, with projections indicating a surge to over 60% by 2045, as the country's fertility rate dropped to just 1.25 births per woman in 2021, one of the lowest rates in the world. Obviously, this leads to a shrinking workforce and is already causing economic stagnation. Hence, the left and center-left propose that since immigrants are often younger, they can help to offset the aging population and fill gaps in the labor market, especially in sectors where there is a shortage of local workers. Moreover, they also presume that a larger working age population can contribute to social security systems, helping to fund pensions for the aging population. And there is some merit to this argument, as statistics have shown that immigrants do contribute at least 9% to the country's GDP in 2021, or 143.9 billion euros. But this, though, only tells part of the story. If life were all smooth sailing, immigration might be seen as a solution to Italy's socioeconomic woes. However, the reality is far from rosy. The notion that immigration is overwhelmingly beneficial to Italy is flawed, or at least that's the argument put forward by right-wing parties that have gained traction in the country's increasingly polarized political landscape. Their argument often revolves around the idea that many immigrants directly compete with native Italians for jobs, especially in industries offering lower wages and less stability. They also point out that the rapid rise in the immigrant population has strained public services such as healthcare, education, and housing. This strain has led to billions of euros in additional spending and numerous ripple effects, including longer wait times at hospitals, overcrowded schools, and a lack of affordable housing in urban centers. As expected, Italy's immigration challenge has prompted the government, particularly under the leadership of right-wing parties like the Brothers of Italy, to adopt stringent measures aimed at curbing the influx of migrants. One such policy adopted by Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has involved a tough stance against migrant rescue organizations. This includes impounding their vessels, restricting their ability to conduct multiple rescues, and requiring them to travel greater distances before disembarking migrants amid allegations of these migrant rescue organizations collaborating with human smugglers. But it doesn't end there. The government went even further by approving changes to the existing immigration legislation known as the Salvini Security Decrees. These decrees eliminated the humanitarian protection permits that were previously granted to individuals who didn't qualify for refugee status, but faced serious personal circumstances preventing their removal from Italy. Instead, the decrees introduced special case permits for individuals vulnerable to persecution or torture, those requiring medical attention, or those affected by exceptional disasters in their home countries. However, even with this provision, migrants can be detained for up to 18 months during the processing of their application. The stakes were raised even further following a tragic shipwreck in February 2023 that claimed the lives of at least 94 migrants. In response, the government imposed harsher penalties for human smugglers, aiming to deter illegal migration attempts. Additionally, they passed a new legislation, dubbed the Cutro Decree, which severely restricted access to special protection status for migrants. This status had previously granted migrants the right to reside, work, and renew their residence permits in Italy. However, the new law tightened eligibility criteria by eliminating considerations such as family ties or economic integration. This, though, was for many simply not going far enough. The result? Italy and 21 other EU countries have now spearheaded what has been described as a historic agreement to tackle the immigration crisis. Part of its key features is stricter asylum procedures, tasking frontline states to implement a more stringent asylum procedure at the border for those deemed unlikely to be accepted. Additionally, the agreement introduced a new expedited border procedure for those deemed unlikely to win asylum to prevent them from lingering inside the bloc for years. But of course, things are never that simple. As it stands, civil rights groups have voiced concerns that the scheme risks echoing the tragic scenes witnessed on the Greek island several years ago. At the time, refugee camps in Lesbos, Samos, and Chios became overcrowded after experiencing a surge in migrant arrivals, with many forced to live in dismal conditions. Additionally, these civil rights groups have argued that the new EU plan could result in the prolonged detention of minors and that it focused on exclusion rather than offering aid to those in dire need. While such an uproar was expected from civil rights groups, criticism also came from other surprising places. Hungary and the former government of Poland voiced out against accepting immigrants from the Middle East and Africa, as the New Deal requires that members accommodate 30,000 new immigrants per year in its joint migration system, or risk contributing funds of 20,000 euros per person a year to be able to help their hosting peers financially. Despite these firm migration stances, Italy remains the primary entry point to Europe for migrants worldwide. Amid this situation, recent polling indicates that Italians harbor deep concerns regarding the growing presence of foreign individuals, particularly those from outside Europe, within their community. Ultimately, it remains to be seen how a balanced approach to Italy's immigration issues can be achieved. What is, however, clear is that immigration is proving a divisive topic for Italy and Europe yet again. If you want to find out more about how Poland is standing up to the immigration crisis, check out our next video linked here.